All right. What's up, co-consults? I hope you guys had a fantastic day. I'm exhausted, but I'm here. Okay. So I did not watch anything at all today. I had a busy day. Okay. But I quickly just tried to scan through the video and what to expect. And based on that cursory scan, it does not appear that Lori cross examined the brother for an extensive period of time, unless I'm just mistaken. Because if we go here, where's Lori? That's around 2:30, 28. Okay. It does not appear extensive. So let's start with a bit of the prosecution. And then 30 minutes in, we're gonna skip around the prosecution's direct because we're really trying to get to Lori. All right, get into it. Moments I live for. And shout out to Benji. Benji is the first subscriber of my new channel. Thank you for the support. I appreciate that. All right, what's the judge saying?
Thank you. If I may go
Somebody
get
has
it.
sent me an email on that. I've not, today was booked. I've literally only been home for less than an hour. I've taken a shower. I still have to eat, but I'm really tired. Really tired. All right, come on. Come on. Man, we have good news from the Supreme Court today. Not really going to get into it right now, but I see a glimmer of hope because I'm starting to lose faith in that Supreme Court. All right, come on. This judge looks really youthful. I'm going to look him up.
You're going to stand right here and be sworn in.
All right.
Please spell your name for the record.
ADA.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes. All right, you're going to walk around the court reporter here. Have a seat to my left.
Okay.
Sir, would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Adam Cox.
How old are you, Adam?
I just turned 56.
And what do you currently do for a living or for life?
I'm a pro pickleball player and instructor.
You're what?
Life.
I'm a pro pickleball player and instructor.
Where are you living now? Just what state?
I live in Arizona.
Okay.
Back in July of 2019, where were you living?
You part of the church or no?
Wichita, Kansas.
Okay. Prior to your pickleball career, did you have a different career?
I did.
What was that?
I was a radio morning show host.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I'd like to believe that pickleball is a newer sport. In my mind, I was just like, how are you able to sustain yourself? But let me move on.
Is that why you were in Wichita?
Yes.
Did that make you travel a lot?
Yes.
So I want to talk to you about your family first, okay?
Okay.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Southern California.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes.
How many?
5 or
And-
4
Oh, he forgot. He forgot that the brother's deceased.
siblings.
Can you tell us the names
Or
of
did he? I
the
don't
5
know.
siblings you had growing up?
Stacy, Alex, Lori, and Summer.
Okay, so that's 4.
Um,
Where did
For
you get 5
Alex,
from?
did people refer to him as Al
Al?
sometimes?
Yes.
And for Summer, did people call her Sum?
Yes.
Were your sisters Lori and
Oh,
Summer
had no
close?
nickname?
Yes.
I want to ask you about another family member. Back in 2019, Melanie Boudreau. How is she related to your family?
Melanie is my oldest sister, Stacy's daughter. So
Okay.
she's my niece.
And was your sister Lori close with Melanie?
Yes.
Do you see your sister Lori in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you
Yeesh.
point her out and
In court
tell us what she's wearing?
identification.
She's sitting there wearing black blazer.
Part of me would like to believe that this must be difficult for the siblings. We'll see how things progress, but I'd just like to believe that this might be difficult for Adam to see his sister in court as a criminal defendant, but I could be wrong. Maybe they don't get along.
Honor, may the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant.
Good job.
What's up, Benji?
In July of 2019,
Yeah, I'm punctual. I'm punctual tonight because I was making it a habit of being late, and I don't like tardiness. So, thank you for being the first subscriber to I Want a Real Lawyer. I appreciate that.
was your sister married?
Yes.
Who was she married to?
Charles Vallow.
And so in July of 2019, was your sister known as Lori Vallow?
Yes.
Do you know approximately how long Lori and Charles were married?
I think over 10 years.
Okay. Do you know if your sister, since the passing of Charles, married Chad Daybell?
Yes.
Did Lori, your sister Lori, have any children from prior marriages before she and Charles got together?
Yes.
And who were those?
Colby and Tylee.
Okay. And were they from?
I'm still getting emails, you guys. Like it's 9:07 p.m. and I'm getting work-related emails, and I had a really long day. I'm trying not to multitask, but
From the same marriage?
No.
wait, what's the question?
And were they from the same marriage?
No.
By July of 2019, was Colby an adult?
Yes.
Do you have a son, Zach?
Yes.
Did your son Zach ever live with Lori and Charles for a bit?
Yes.
Did he move in there after Colby moved out?
Yes.
Sorry, folks.
did
Let
you-
me go back. I was reading work emails.
Yes.
I'm getting distracted.
Do you have a son?
I'm surprised Lori is not objecting. I'm surprised she's not objecting.
Zach.
Yes.
Let's give them a like.
Did your son Zach ever live with Lori and Charles for a bit?
Yes.
Okay.
Did he move in there after Colby moved out?
Yes.
It must have been close at one point.
In July of 2019, was Lori's other daughter, Tylee, still under the age of 18?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you know whether or not Charles helped raise Colby and Tylee?
Yes.
Did you know if Charles had any?
I don't know. A whole lot of this is leading, but it makes no real difference because I suppose Lori's not, she's not disagreeing with the testimony that's being elicited.
Children from prior marriage?
Yes.
Do you know if do you know how many?
Yeah, Lori, you probably need to be objecting, okay? Because he should be testifying in the narrative, not being led.
How many children he had from a prior
Might be your
marriage?
brother, so you
I
might
think
be
two.
intimidated,
Okay. And do you know if either of those two children lived with Lori or Charles?
but
Visited. I don't know if they ever lived there.
okay.
Did Lori and Charles have any kids together?
Um,
So no biological, just adopted.
JJ.
Was JJ adopted? Okay. So did they adopt him together?
Yes.
Okay. So in
So-
2019, did Lori and Charles have just JJ and Tylee as their kids living with them?
Yes.
Did Lori and Charles always live in Arizona?
No.
Where else did you know them to live?
Texas and Hawaii.
Okay. We had talked about your brother Alex or Al. Were you close with your brother Alex?
Somewhat.
Okay.
Do you know where Alex was living in July of 2019? What state?
Arizona.
Why is this a rocky
And
wait?
can you describe your brother Alex's relationship with your sister Lori?
Okay.
Were they
They
close?
tight? I guess so.
I mean, I don't know if the close is the word I would use
Okay.
growing up, but
Describe
just
for us.
What's going
normal
on?
brother-sister relationship, I guess.
What does that mean? Because I'm close to my sister. So what does that mean? What's a normal relationship between Lori and Alex?
As they became adults, did they continue to be close, or what
Somebody was
what do you
drinking
recall
water.
of their relationship?
Yeah, over the last, I guess 4 or 5 years,
Okay.
The last 4 or 5 years between them was what?
they were closer. They were close for like a year and a half.
Yeah, it
Is
must
what I
be.
remember.
Before this
Became
happened?
Yeah, they became oddly close for
What
a
do you mean
while.
oddly?
Um,
Are you
how
part of the
about
church or no?
the relationship between Charles and Alex? Do you recall what that was like?
That's a good question.
Just a normal brother-in-law relationship, I guess.
But what's normal? What's normal to your family though? That's what I'm not getting.
Did you ever know them to do things just the two of them?
No, I don't have any knowledge of that.
Okay.
Did your family sort of do a lot of big family events where everyone might be together?
Yes. Yeah.
Birthday meals, holidays?
Yes.
Adam, did you grow up a member of the Church of Jesus Christ
That's exactly what I wanted to know. Okay. Were you a part of the church? Yes or no?
of Latter-day Saints?
Yes.
Okay, so you're a part of the church too.
And are you still a member of that?
Yes.
Okay.
At some point, was your brother Alex excommunicated?
Yes.
Why?
Do you recall when that was?
What did Alex do?
I think he was excommunicated twice.
Sheesh.
So I'm not sure the dates or when that happened, but when he was an adult.
Okay.
In 2019, was he still excommunicated to your knowledge?
Yes.
What does that mean to be excommunicated?
It means that you do certain things to where the church it takes away your membership from the church.
Are you able to go to temple if you're excommunicated?
No.
Is that important?
Going to the church in our faith is important, yes.
Let's talk about your relationship with Charles Vallow.
How about his relationship
Did you
with
and Charles
his sister?
ever text?
Yes.
Did you and Charles ever talk on the phone?
Yes.
When Lori and Charles were married, were you aware that Charles would pay for things for the family, like cell phones?
Yeah, I heard that there's people in our family that
odd?
were on his business self plan.
Oh, okay.
Or
Business.
car insurance?
Don't know about car insurance, but
You knew about the cell phones.
yeah.
Okay.
Did you know what Charles did for a living?
Yes.
What was it?
He sold insurance.
Okay. Did you know what kind of insurance?
No, he explained it one time, but he was doing something with school teachers or helping them with their situation.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
Did you know whether or not Charles traveled a lot for work?
Yes.
Was he traveling to other states?
Yes.
And was that sort of throughout his marriage with Lori?
Yes.
Okay. Were you aware of whether or not your sister Lori worked prior to marrying Charles?
Yes.
Do
Okay.
you know what kind of work she did?
She was a hairstylist.
Okay. After she married Charles, did she continue to work outside the home?
At a hair salon?
Yeah.
No, not that I know of.
Was it your understanding Charles worked so she could take care of the children?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
So you were unaware of her doing any sort of outside work?
And Benji, how did your game end last night? I believe you're watching the Lakers, right?
Like she had done prior to being married to him.
Yeah, I don't know any of that.
You know what?
At some point, did you learn or become aware of the fact that Lori and Charles were having some marital problems?
Yes.
Um, Just yes or no, did you ever talk to Charles about why he and Lori were having marital problems?
Yes.
Okay. What you find out?
Um, You yourself personally, were you aware of Lori having any beliefs that were outside of what is accepted by the LDS religion?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you tell us what you were aware of that
I'm so nosy. I don't want to hear anything crazy though, but maybe I do.
you knew to be outside the LDS religion?
Lori told me that she was
I guess that comes in.
in the process of translating from a mortal human being to an immortal human being, a celestial state.
What?
That's something that the LDS religion supports?
I haven't heard of it and that it's happened
Kind of
here
sounds like
on
death,
Earth
doesn't
yet.
it?
Did you ever hear her talking about being married to someone that is
Objection
relevant in your
leading.
religion?
Lori, you need to be objecting. What is she doing? Like, what is she doing? They need to show Lori. Lori, why aren't you objecting? She's leading.
Here on Earth yet.
Did
Wait,
you
what?
That it's
sports?
I haven't heard of it and that it's happened here on Earth yet.
I don't know.
So-
Some
so
of the stuff.
Lori
I'm
told
scratching
me
my head.
that she was in the process of translating from a mortal human being to an immortal human being,
I don't know. That kind of sounds like death.
a celestial state.
That's something that the LDS religion supports?
I haven't heard of it and that it's happened here on Earth yet.
On Earth. What does that mean? So where has it occurred? I have so many questions. Like I'm a little curious, but I don't want to find out too much. I don't want too much information because I don't know what to do with it.
Did you ever hear her talking about being married to
Lori, you need to object. I don't know what you're doing, but you need to, or you should have just. Is it late? It's kind of not too late for Lori to ask for standby counsel to take over.
someone that is relevant in your religion?
Yes, I have heard that.
Did she tell that to you?
I don't know. I can't recall her telling me that, but I remember other people telling me that.
Okay.
Objection.
Was there
here.
anything else that you recall her telling you that she believed that?
Hold on, I
See-
need to go back. My mind is just, I don't know. It's not making sense. I mean, it's not supposed to make sense. But let's go back. She said what?
Did you ever hear her talking about being married to someone that is relevant in your religion?
Married to somebody that's irrelevant in the religion. Would that be, I don't know, the equivalent of like Jesus or uh a prophet Muhammad? Like what exactly are they getting to? What does that look like? Is it
Yes, I have heard that.
Did she tell that to you?
I don't know. I can't recall her telling me that, but I remember other people telling me that.
Okay. Was there anything else that you recall her?
Oh, that's good. That's good, Benji. He was showing out, huh? That's good. That's good.
Telling you that
I mean, I don't really watch every once in a while. I keep up with the NBA, but that's because I enjoy listening to um Chad Ochocinco, and they call him Unc. That's weird. He's not my uncle. What's his name? Shannon Sharp. So I listen to them every once in a while when I'm taking a crime break, a crime TV break. So that's how I know some of the information, or at least uh, some of the circumstances surrounding his trade. But I'm not that deep into it. But that's good though.
she believed that seemed outside the LDS religion?
Yes. There was a time where she told me that she had more priesthood authority than the
Hold
priesthood.
on. Wait. I don't know. It's kind of sounding that Lori is not all the way there, but she's not claiming insanity though. But Yeah, she's not claiming intent, but maybe she's not mentally sound. Because that's what some of these, I don't know. It doesn't
That
sound right.
she believed that
I
seemed
don't want to label her, but there's a little something there.
outside the LDS religion.
Yes. There was a time where she told me that she had more priesthood authority than the priesthood did.
What?
And why, can you explain for us what that means, why that was significant to you?
In our religion, the men hold the priesthood, and she said that she's in a state where she's above that.
Okay.
I didn't quite understand it, but
I do not. I definitely don't understand it.
very strange.
Did you confront her about these beliefs?
I don't know. This is making me curious enough to want to know more about the faith, but I also don't want to get in too deep.
Confront her? No.
Did you discuss with her about these beliefs?
I just let her say what she wanted to say.
Was there ever a conversation
Okay,
where
so Benji likes Shannon Sharp. I like the comedic relief that they offer. So, yeah, I mean, as far as his analysis, I don't know if accurate or not, because I'm not, with the exception of like when it comes to women's college basketball, for sure, I know a little here and there. I know that's probably one sport where I actually know a lot about the players. But for all other sports, I have no idea. I just listen for, I guess companionship.
when she was telling you these things, where she asked if you thought she was crazy?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Cause I don't know, Lori. It's sounding a little.
How did you
This is true. It's sounding a little questionable.
respond to that?
I said, I don't know if you're crazy, but what you're telling me is not true. It's not real.
Okay.
After you said that, what happened to your relationship with Lori?
She stopped talking to
This
me.
makes me wonder if her attorneys were pushing for an insanity defense, and she's like, "I'm not crazy, so I'm gonna represent myself." Makes me wonder. But I don't completely fault her. My issue with an insanity defense is that if the defendant is convicted, they become some jurisdictions, they call it a precedence patient. Like they take you to the bin, okay? And the problem with that is that, or at least what I find issue with being a state's patient is the fact that you don't actually know, you don't have a date certain. If, I mean, sometimes it could be advantageous. Maybe you spend less time as opposed to being incarcerated, but you could potentially spend the rest of your life in, a mental institution.
Were you ever aware of Lori believing that people could be dark or possessed by evil spirits?
Ooh.
I later have learned that, yes.
Ooh.
Did you ever try to tell your family about the beliefs that Lori had expressed to you?
Yes.
Yes.
What was your family's reaction?
One of the reaction was she's in a delusion. Let her do whatever she's
Yeah,
doing.
maybe Lori is not okay. Maybe she's not okay, but we'll get into this examination. We'll give it another 5 minutes. I just needed some background information. And okay, let's
And she'll come out of it at some point.
Okay, that's not how.
How did this impact your relationship with your family when you're bringing up these concerns about Lori?
They basically cut me off.
Oh wow.
So
Wait, so are you the one that has issues? What's going on?
you bringing up your concerns about Lori's beliefs being at odds with the LDS religion sort of terminated your good relationship with your family.
Yes.
That's bleeding, by the way.
At the end of
Okay,
June
so this
of
actually makes sense, right? Because I've talked about this previously in other cases where I've indicated that if the prosecution, not even the prosecution, either side, if you're trying to find a witness with insider information, you have to go for somebody that's not on good terms with the defendant. And we're seeing a classic example of that here. There must have been some type of friction. It sounds like things did not go accordingly. Maybe they reconciled, maybe they did not. But for Mr. Cox to be up here on the stand just spilling, there's no way him and Lori are on good terms. Not at all. Mm-mm.
2019, do you recall Charles sending you some emails that were purportedly written by him asking Chad Daybell to come out to Arizona and write a book for him?
Yes.
Okay.
And did you, without going into it, did you review that email?
Yes.
Okay, so Chad Daybell, is that her previous husband? This
Did
is
you
some weird
know
stuff.
Charles, what he had done in his life prior to
Was he an author?
selling insurance?
Yeah, I know that he played minor league baseball.
And in this email was the person pretending to be Charles, asking about writing a book
Okay,
about it.
that is an improper question because nowhere did this witness testify that the correspondence from the other side was somebody pretending to be Charles. So Lori, you are asleep at the wheel. Okay, you're asleep at the wheel. You should be objecting.
His career.
Yes.
Was that something you knew
So
Charles was not
it kind of sounds like they're claiming that it's Lori that was pretending to be her husband.
interested in?
No, he's not or wasn't.
After you saw those emails that Charles had forwarded to you, where someone was reaching out to Chad, were they inviting Chad out to Arizona?
Yeah,
Yes.
she's leading. Lori, come on now. You need to, if you're going to represent yourself, you actually have to represent yourself, okay? I saw a headline today. Again, today was a really busy day for me, but I opened a tab. So I have a million tabs open. Maybe I get through them this weekend. But I saw the algorithm. They know, I don't know, Google Chrome knows that I'm following this trial. So the algorithm got me. Um, it's a news article from, it must be an Arizona based, what is this? Media outlet. Okay. Because the article was titled something along the lines of Lori Daybell is representing herself, or she's doing much better than some attorneys. I was like, what the hell? Anyways, I did not read it, but I'll definitely get to it this weekend. I'm interested. Lori is asleep right now. So far, if I have to assess how she, again, we've not really gotten into day 4, but if I have to assess how she has done over the first 3 days, day 1 was definitely on point, for sure. She did her thing. She cried a little bit. You guys know that I like for my clients and my witnesses to cry on the stand, like shed a little tear, do something, do something. So yeah, she cried a little bit, and I think that may have had an impact, and the reason for that is because she was obviously talking about her children and her deceased husband. So, she showed some emotion as opposed to just being out there, being stone cold stoic. Either way, some folks might say, oh, she was putting on or whatever, but that is a better presentation than just talking about your deceased husband as if you weren't in love with him or he meant nothing to you. Okay. As far as day one, shout out to Lori. Again, day 1 is the day with the opening statements. Cross examination was, I wouldn't say solid. She did good, but I would not claim that she, did better than an attorney. Maybe somebody that has never had a trial, but typically, what is this? Um, prosecutors' offices, public defenders' offices, those are usually really good. What is this? Trial practice jobs, because it's kind of rare. Back in the day, like way, way, way back, they'll throw you into court. When I started out, I was just thrown into court and I had to figure out what to do. So, yeah, back in the day, people were thrown into court. That's not how it is now. A lot of that has shifted where there's more focus on, properly preparing attorneys. So, from that perspective, I do not know that she is doing a better job than, an ordinary attorney that's in court all the time, but maybe somebody that's transitioning or switching from, private practice or litigation, something along those lines. Day two. Day two was okay. It was uneventful. Day three, she cracked a little bit because that's when she started asking, um, why do I keep trying to call her Mary Jo? I think it was Nancy Jo. So when she was asking Nancy Jo text messages about being a good kisser, her dating married men, and that was a mess. That was very chaotic. We're yet to find out what day four looked like. Yeah,
After
but
reading that and getting
once I do read the article, I'll report back. You guys know I'm going to report back.
that forward and talking with Charles, did you believe that
What's up,
Lori was having an affair
Brooklyn?
with Chad Daybell?
Yes.
Okay, so Benji says that he can relate to Luca. He gave that organization everything just to be traded out of the blue, and then they slandered him about his work ethic and alcohol. Maybe he has a problem. I don't know. I don't know. But this is the one thing that I always tell my clients, okay? Because you guys know that I work with injured workers, basically people that get injured on the job, and a lot of them actually do end up getting fired after they get hurt on the job while making money for somebody else. The one thing about the employment cycle, folks' interests, listen, and employees' interests are usually people are, how do I put this nicely? Let me find the words to put this nicely because I don't want to be harsh. I want to be harsh. What's up, Brooklyn? What's up, Brooklyn? Let's get into this though.
Did you and Charles
Let's move
spend
on.
time talking about that?
Okay,
Yes.
what did you guys? Yeah, you cannot get into that 'cause
Was
that's
he
out of court. That's hearsay.
kind of, I guess, in a tailspin?
Misleading, Lori. You definitely have to object. Come on now,
I'm not sure the best words to say
Lori.
from learning that.
Yeah, he seemed a little desperate.
Desperate.
Did Charles have some idea on how he thought he might be able to get Lori back into the LD?
This is leading. She is clearly leading.
Yes, Faith.
Yes.
She's clearly Lori. What on earth? I don't know if Lori was defeated by Nancy Joe or if she feels some way because this is actually her brother. Lori is asleep. She needs to come on, Lori. You need to do something.
What did you understand that to be?
Anyways, I'm just trying to find cross because again, I have limited time, but I do want to get back. We're definitely gonna get back to this testimony, okay? Maybe I listen to it on my own while I'm at work tomorrow. It's gonna be crazy though. I don't know that I have time. But okay, you guys know that Friday, usually my day off. But Sunday I'll be live, okay? Saturday, not so much. Saturday I'm taking the day off. I'm relaxing on parenting. But Sunday I'll be live. And the reason I'll be live is because we do not know what's going to transpire tomorrow, okay? We don't know what's going to transpire tomorrow and we want to be caught up in time for Monday. We don't want to be operating on a leg. So on Sunday, I will be live, but I will not be live on Sustained Overruled. Okay. I'll be live on I Want a Real Lawyer. I've posted a link to that channel on my community post or whatever it's called. So you guys can find it there. You can subscribe. And then as far as time, I suppose I need to give a time before I get off tonight's live. Let me think about it.
Charles just thought that Lori was going overboard and
Okay.
that she was going to the temple like 5 times a week, and that's not normal in our
Oh,
religion,
it's not?
and that she was going a little off the wall. So he figured that if she got her temple recommend taken away from her, that she would come back to normal, who she was before
I'm gonna
she
look
started in all
this
this
faith up a
things that she
little
was
more.
believing.
I'm gonna dig
Now, you
into it.
told us that you had heard yourself some ideas by Lori that were outside the LDS religion. Did Charles also tell you about other things that she had told him?
Yes.
Okay.
Lori is asleep. How are you gonna cross-examine if you're asleep?
And so did you talk with Charles about something that will terminate?
Especially, this is just it's hearsay, it's leading. I don't know what Lori's doing. Anyways, let's get to cross just because we're pressed for time. I would like to be well rested when I get to work tomorrow. Okay. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes. All right. Come on,
This
Lori.
whole incident happened. Did you not talk with your family for a long time?
Yes.
Okay, let's
We're
let's back up a little bit.
Yeah. So,
Excuse me.
and I said, "What's going on?"
Objection hearsay.
Come back to Phoenix and
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely need to revisit. We need to revisit direct. We need to revisit cross.
did you ever come back to Phoenix and confront anyone in your family about this or talk to them?
Hold on, somebody's being confronted.
Involved. First thing I did.
I think I'm gonna go a bit
Uh,
later tonight just because I'm nosy, but
Yes, he told me that.
not too late though.
What did you do after you learned that?
Wait, what did you learn?
Yes.
Now I'm really nosy. What did you learn?
That's for hearsay.
Woo!
That
She's awake.
told people
She's awake. Lori is awake.
it was a justified killing.
She actually. Wait, what? Hold on, I'm missing the good stuff. We don't want to do that.
In the
Alright.
Book of Mormon. It's
Can you told us that you are LDS? Have you ever taught Sunday school?
yes.
Okay.
Can you tell us about the story of Nephi?
Nephi.
Mhm.
Well, Nephi was a prophet in the Book of Mormon.
Um, Lori needs to be objecting.
It's the first chapter.
Objection
He was
relevant.
a prophet, very humble and faithful servant of the Lord. Ironically enough, his brothers tried to kill him at one point. But he actually,
Lori, you need to be objecting, sister. You need to do something.
ended up,
This really would have been a good defense case. I just wish that, Lori, but she also does not sound like she's all the way there. She should have gone with legal representation. This is a good defense case.
going to Jerusalem to get these plates back, and he was run off, came back, and then went back again because the Lord asked him to. And when he did, King Laban,
Lori, you are supposed to be objecting right here.
who was actually a wicked king, was laying on the ground drunk in front of him,
Okay.
and Nephi was told to kill Laban.
Who was he told by?
Yeah, come on now, Lori.
The spirit, or
The spirit.
Okay.
God.
So God was using a Holy Spirit to tell him to kill Laban, and
Yes.
did he?
Yes, he did.
Was that something he anguished over?
Yes.
But ultimately, it was a justified killing.
Yes.
All right.
So was the concept that it was
Lori, what are you doing?
better for Nephi to kill
Lori,
this
what are you doing?
one evil man and
Aren't you
sort of
objecting?
benefit the nation and his descendants?
Yes.
What on earth is Lori doing?
Were you aware
Maybe she's in agreement. I suppose it sounds like she's in agreement.
that your sister had told people that Charles was possessed by evil spirits?
Yes.
Were you aware that your sister had told people that your brother-in-law Charles was dark?
Objection. Calls for hearsay.
Girl,
what-
you should have been objecting a long time ago. You allowed them to talk about a story of Levi or whatever the person's name is. And
He was aware of it.
Whether or not
Yes or no?
Lori, you had ample opportunity to actually object when it mattered, and you're just maybe you're reviewing your rules of evidence. I don't know.
Aware, he can answer yes or no.
Yes.
Lori.
When you and Charles were talking about this intervention, were you trying to help
That's leading.
your sister come back to mainstream LDS beliefs?
Yes.
So it wasn't just Charles, but also her.
Yes.
You told us that your friend had Googled and learned that Charles was killed. Did you know at that time it was by your brother Alex?
That's what the article said. So yes, he told me that.
You learned through an article?
What did you do after you learned that?
Freaked out for a little bit, cried.
Sorry,
Didn't know what to
I'm
do.
reading something completely unrelated. It's a headline here. I know the courts are just going bananas lately. Anyways, I'll read that out.
Thought my world was coming apart. Then I got angry a little bit, and then called I think first thing I did, I called Kay, who's Charles's sister, and asked her, because she's the only one that I felt safe calling after knowing my family was involved in this or thinking of this, that I asked her if she knew that Charles was dead, and she said she just learned of it too.
Did you learn from your friend when, because it's now the 13th when you learned this, right?
Yes.
Did you learn when that happened?
Yes, I did.
So you knew on that Saturday, the 13th, that Charles had been killed that morning
Yes.
of July 11th.
Yes.
2 days later.
Did you ever come back to Phoenix and confront anyone in your family about this or talk to them about it?
Yes. After I talked to Kay, then I called my mom and asked her if she knew that Charles was dead. And she said yes. And I said, "What's going on?" And she said, "You tell me what's going
What
on."
on earth?
And at that point, I thought that was bizarre that she would say that.
Why?
So I said, "Well, we need to sit down and talk." And she said, "Yes, we do." And so me and Zach got in the car and drove back to Phoenix.
Did you go to your mom's house?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Did that conversation go well?
No.
Yeah,
Did
that is definitely leading. I don't know what Lori's doing, but she needs to be objecting. This is direct, okay? This is direct examination.
this create a break in your relationship with your mom?
Yes.
Did
Yes, Lori, what are you doing? Listen, hopefully nobody on this live stream ends up in a situation where they're in a criminal court and need legal representation. But listen, if you catch yourself in such a situation, you get an attorney, okay? And you let the attorney actually do the job. Even if you think you don't need an attorney, chances are you need an attorney. Lori needs an attorney, and she's supposed to be her own attorney, but she's largely absent. She's AWOL, nowhere to be found.
You stick up for Charles?
Yes.
Did sticking up for Charles create issues between you and most of your family?
Yes.
Did you continue to stick up for Charles even with that happening?
Yes.
How did he stick up for him?
After you had that argument with your mom, what did you do?
Yeah, objection, speculation. She's claiming that there was an argument. Nowhere did this witness say that there was an argument. Those are not the words that he used.
Me
Lori, you're asleep.
and Zach left her house, and we were staying at Summer's house, my sister, who was away on vacation. And we were staying at her house, and we went back to her house. We were watching her dog.
You were supposed to leave the next morning, Sunday, to go back to Wichita. Did you return back home?
Yes, we did.
Did your son go with you this time?
Yes, he did.
After this whole incident happened, did you not talk with your family for a long time?
Yes.
Yeah, this absolutely makes sense. Okay, it makes sense that he's testifying against his sister, and he willingly got on the stand. Again, I've said this before. If you're trying to get really good testimony, you find somebody that's not on good terms with the defendant.
Did it cause a lot of friction in your family?
Yes.
Have you started to try to talk with your family some?
Yes.
I have no other questions, Your Honor.
Cross?
All right, Lori, what do you have? Okay, we're face to face. All right,
Mr. Cox, how long has it been since we've seen each
that girl said Mr. Cox, not even Adam.
other in person?
Don't know.
When was the last time you saw me?
Lori, this is not, listen, Lori, I've said this before. Okay, so in this instance, the first question she's basically asked is how long has it been since they spoke or saw each other in person? That is not how she's supposed to ask that question. This is cross-examination. Whatever the time period is, if they last saw each other, I don't know, 30 years ago, then you have to put it to the witness. Isn't it true that the last time we saw each other was 30 years ago? Then it's yes or no, not I don't know. Lori, hold on. Maybe she gets better. Are they giving her feedback? Is standby counsel giving her feedback? I don't know, because she's making a habit of asking questions incorrectly, but then again, she's also not a lawyer. So,
Mr. Cox, how long has it been since we've seen each other in person?
Don't know.
When was the last time you saw me?
whatever the last time is, if you remember the last time that you saw your brother, I don't know if he showed up at the jail or whatever, if he put some money on your books, something along those lines, give that date and ask the question.
I don't recall.
Exactly. Now he's not going to recall. He's not going to remember.
So,
Lori,
has it been a year, 2 years? 3
Lori,
years?
Lori, if you have the information, you have to put it before the witness. Put it before the witness so his response is a yes or a no.
5 years?
Something
6
like
years?
that.
7 years? 8 years?
Something.
Okay.
Something.
So you have no
The
idea.
judge also, the judge does not know what's about to transpire.
Nope.
You have no idea when the last time you saw me in person.
I don't know the year or how many years it's been.
Okay, so
Lori, okay, I'm going to let her do her job.
did you see me at Colby's wedding in January 2018?
No, I was not there.
You didn't come to Colby's wedding.
No, I did not.
So did you see me?
I'm sorry, the judge is cracking me up. The judge does not know where this is going. He's pretty much, looking over the monitor. He does not know what to do with his fingers. He's just, I don't know, hand gestures. His mouth is kind of open.
Colby's wedding in January 2018.
No, I was not there.
Yeah,
You didn't come to Colby's wedding.
No, I did not.
kind of sounds like a family feud, but it's not even, cross examination. It just sounds like a family feud. But let's go, Lori.
So did you see me sometime that year at my house
Possibly.
where Colby got married? That house,
I did see you at that house. Yes.
at least one time.
Yes.
So possibly in 2018.
Lori.
Yes.
And when was the last time we had any communications?
The last time I remember our communications was you and I were.
This is what Lori has to do with a brother, okay? Because the brother has made it very clear that he is not on. I wonder, is the mother going to testify on Lori's behalf? I don't know. Maybe we should look up the witness list, but I also want to be surprised. In any event, what Lori has to do when it comes to the brother, she has to attempt to show bias. Okay, that's what she has to do. She has to show that the brother's out to get her. I don't know how that. Yeah, no, that's what she has to do. Because I was gonna talk about any of the other neutral third party witnesses, but as far as law enforcement, so far, at least what I've listened to, law enforcement is not putting that gun in Lori's hand. Prosecution again, they're saying the motive was money, so they probably have other witnesses that'll testify to that. But as far as brother Adam Cox is concerned, Lori has to attempt to show bias.
Speaking in the kitchen when the family was over.
Okay, so you think that was that time in 2018?
I think so.
Okay. And were we eating my green chili chicken enchiladas?
Oh, Lord, Lori. I'm sorry. She said, what? They're Lori, come on now. Hold on. I need to take this timestamp down. She said, she's so unexpected. She said they were eating what? 31, 36.
Okay. And were we eating my green chili chicken enchiladas?
Do not remember that.
Lori, something.
You do not remember that?
The judge does not even know where to look. That's probably the funniest cross-examination question I've ever heard. Like even the court reporter, nobody knows what's going on.
Nope.
Is that what I made every time we had a family get together, which was like 10 times a year?
I don't
Oh wow.
remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a question an attorney would have asked the witness.
And when was the last time that we had a phone call or text message?
I have no idea.
Could it possibly be around that exact same time?
Lori.
Possibly.
Okay. So that was possibly in early 2018?
Yes.
Okay.
She said chicken into what? Green chili and enchiladas.
Who do you think initiated the final communication in our relationship?
Was it Lori? Or was it Mom?
Who concluded it?
Yeah.
Was it Adam?
I don't know.
So right now it's 2025, is that correct?
Yes.
Lori.
And so we haven't spoken in about 8 years. Would that be correct?
Man, that's a long time actually.
It's probably 7 or 8 years.
Okay. So would you say up until that point that how often would we communicate before that?
Lori.
Before what?
Before 2018?
Probably on a regular basis. Once a month, twice a month, 3 times a month.
Okay. So what created the
Like a call or a text message?
Yes.
Just keeping in touch?
Yes.
You know of us living in Hawaii and you were living in Kansas at the time?
Yes.
Lori, what are you getting at?
And in your career, you lived in lots of different places, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Austin,
Yes.
Dallas.
Yes.
New York,
Yes.
Wichita,
Yes.
Sacramento.
Yes.
Did I miss anything?
Getting it.
Others.
No, he
And
traveled
I was in
Florida.
Texas,
Yes.
Arizona,
Yes.
Hawaii.
Yes.
So would you say that we were not physically close during the past 20 years?
Yes, I would say that.
Okay.
So our communication would be solely
That was actually good. That was actually good.
family get-togethers, occasional text messages. Is that correct?
And phone calls, yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Cox, did you see
She did, Mr.
or hear or personally witness me conspire with my brother Alex Cox to murder my husband Charles Vallow?
Good question. That is a darn good question. That's probably this entire trial. That is probably the one question that is on point. That's a darn good question.
Repeat that again.
Okay. Did you see with your eyes or hear with your
You should have broken this down a little bit, Lori, because now it's a compound question. This is a good question.
ears or personally witness me conspire with my brother Alex Cox to murder my husband Charles Vallow?
No.
Thank you. No more questions.
That is a darn good question. Once he said no, she is like, that's it. That was a good question. All right. Shout out to Lori, though. That was a really good question.
To murder my husband Charles Vallow?
No.
Thank you. No more questions.
That's the thing. At least Lori knows when to stop. There are many attorneys that do not know when to stop. A good example will be Georgia. It was Georgia. It was not Fulton County. I forget the name of the county. Melody Ferris. There we go. That was the defendant's name. I still don't remember the county. But in Melody Ferris, I just the short attorney. I think both of them were short, but the defense attorneys. I'm trying to figure out, trying to remember which witness it was. But I just know that I don't remember the name of the defense attorney, but the defense attorney did not know when to call it quits. He had a really good moment where he could have ended his cross. He did not, and it just went downhill after that.
Redirect.
That was dang. That was a good way to end that cross.
Have you talked to your sister since Charles was shot and killed?
No.
So since that happened,
The
you
prosecutor
shot and killed?
put your head a little bit.
Have you talked to your sister since Charles was shot and killed?
No.
So since that happened, you cut off all communications with her?
Yes.
Prior to that, you were being asked about 2018 being at Lori and Charles's house. Was that the time where Lori told you she was becoming a celestial being?
Yes.
And the time where she was telling you other ideas that were not in line with the LDS faith?
Yes.
After you had heard those statements by your sister,
Dang, they have the lineup or the headliners for the Essence Festival in New Orleans. Apparently, they have Glorilla and Boys to Men. I don't know. They have a full lineup over here. I really wanted to go to Essence, but oh, they have the Isley Brothers. Yeah, they do have the I. They have Nas. Nas is going to perform. I'm not going anywhere though. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. I'm saving my money for Kids Pop. I'm saving my money for Kids Pop. I'm going to Kids Pop this summer.
you told us that she had asked you if you thought she was crazy, right?
Yes.
And you had responded back how?
I don't know if you're crazy, but what you're telling me is not true.
after you told her that her beliefs were not true, did that sort of end your talking with her?
Yes.
Here's the thing, though. During cross-examination, Lori did not really make it a point to disprove the brother's testimony regarding her unfounded beliefs. So that's still going to, that information is still out there with the jury.
You were asked if you personally saw, heard your sister Lori conspire to kill Charles. Were you there that morning?
No.
Were you the person who was supposed to, though, be with Alex on the 10th into the morning of the 11th?
What?
You spent the night with him?
If I would have spent the night with him, yes.
So that stood out to you because you had made plans with your brother, right?
Yes.
And instead, you learned he was at Lori's house.
Yes.
You told us that you thought it was odd that your brother would be over at your sister's house at 7:30 in the morning.
Yes.
And you were aware that your brother had guns.
Yes.
Charles was going there to pick up JJ, right?
Yes.
And so did it seem odd to you that your brother would bring a gun that was loaded with extra magazines that was not safe to your sister's house where JJ was?
Objection, out of scope.
That girl said objection out of the scope.
This is not
Goes
just
to the
a
conspiracy.
redirect. This is not just a redirect.
Uh-oh, Lori, calm down.
I didn't ask for argument. Okay. The objections overruled.
What's the question?
Sure. Did it stand out to you
Lori's
that
fighting.
your brother, who knew JJ, would bring a loaded gun and extra ammunition to the house where JJ?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Lori is correct. Lori is correct. I've talked about this. I know I've talked about this with Callie on some cases that I did not even, watch or react to. But that is true. As far as the scope and what attorneys can get into, think of it as a funnel, okay? Like a funnel, so pretty much a V shape, okay? The most you can get into is really at the top with direct, and it gets narrower and narrower as you move on to the next stage. So pretty much you start with direct. After that, it's cross. For cross, a lot of things are usually up for grabs, especially if we're going into the issues of bias and credibility. But after that, it just gets narrower. If you're going to redirect, redirect is restricted to what was asked on cross. If you go to recross, you're pretty much limited or restricted to what was on redirect, and it just keeps getting narrower and narrower. So Lori is correct.
JJ was
What
running around.
what the prosecutor is doing here is really just they're bolstering their direct testimony. None of this was challenged, and I suppose the reason why Lori did not challenge it could be a number of reasons. Maybe she just did not think to challenge, or she has no leg to stand on. But because she did not get into it, the prosecutor, this is not an opportunity for the prosecutor to bolster what was already elicited during direct testimony.
Well, I didn't know at the time.
Yeah.
You're saying afterwards?
Yeah, you learned afterwards your brother killed him, right?
Yes.
So when we're talking about this conspiracy and things that are going on, did that seem odd to you that your brother would bring a loaded gun and extra ammunition in an unsafe way to a house where your sister's son, JJ, lived.
Yeah, it seemed extreme.
When you were talking to your family after this happened, did you actually tell them that you believed that Lori and Alex had conspired to kill Charles?
Yes,
Why was that?
because Lori had told people that Charles was no longer living, that some guy named Ned was inside of his body, that there was a zombie living inside of him. And Alex didn't respond to any of my text messages when I was supposed to be with him. And he was at that house that morning. Lori talking crazy about how she's a translated being. All these things all added up into that moment. And that
Okay, I missed a lot because I had to change. I had to change locations. I was gonna say venue, but let me just go back a little bit. Let me go back a little bit.
Afterwards, your brother killed him, right?
yes,
And when we're talking about this conspiracy and things that are going on, did that seem odd to you that your brother would bring a loaded gun and extra ammunition in his unsafe way to a house where your sister's son, JJ, lived?
yeah, it seemed extreme.
What do you mean by it?
When you were
Why did it?
talking to your family after this happened, did you actually tell them that you believed that Lori and Alex had conspired to kill Charles?
Yes,
Why was that?
because Lori had told people that Charles was no longer living, that some guy named Ned was inside of his body, that there was a zombie living
Ned.
inside of him. And Alex didn't respond to any of my text messages when I was supposed to be with him. And he was at that house that morning. Lori talking crazy about how she's a translated being.
Yeah, Lori definitely should be jumping up and down. And the reason why she should be jumping up and down is so that she can preserve the issues for appeal. In the event that she's convicted, she would have a leg to stand on.
All these things.
So it's not it's not enough that the judge overruled her, but she pretty much. I mean, she also don't want to. You don't want to annoy the jurors, but it's kind of your freedom that's on the line.
All added up into that moment and that morning. Once I found out on Saturday that Charles was shot and killed, no doubt on my mind that they killed him. That's a feeling that I got.
And you told your family that?
Yes.
No other questions?
And here's the thing, as far as cross-examination, okay, this is Lori's brother, okay. As far as they have not been physically in the same state for an extended period of time, because sounds like they've been living in different states over their careers. Whatever information, unless the man is just a clean slate, I don't know that anybody's a clean slate. There's always something, and there's always something that you can bring out about somebody. So this should have been her opportunity to bring out information about the brother that she only knows, but not only, I guess, the family would know, information that the family would know, but you'd have to do it in a strategic way where it pretty much goes back to bias or it attacks his credibility. Did she
The
read
last line of questioning from the possession of the gun on, I think the defendant's right, was technically beyond the scope of her cross. So based on that, I'll allow the defendant, if she wants to recross on those issues,
She should
if
recross
she
if she wants
elects to, may do so now.
You want to recross? Wait, let's go
On
back to the
scope
judge's
of
reasoning.
possession of the last
No other questions?
the last line of questioning from the possession of the gun on, I think the defendant's right, was technically beyond the scope of her cross. So based on that, I'll allow the defendant, if she wants to
Say the defendant was right, because I think the judge's ruling was incorrect. Not even I think, I know the judge's ruling was incorrect.
recross on those issues. if she elects to, may do so now.
Okay, so it sounds like this is the judge trying to, this is the judge trying to, I guess, undo the harm of the prosecution, allowing the prosecution to bolster um, its case or the testimony of this witness. But here's the thing: the bell cannot be unrung. Okay, the jurors have listened or have had a second opportunity to listen to um, this witness testify about things that were not attacked during cross-examination. So he's kind of trying to undo that harm. But I think whatever damage, if there's any damage, it's pretty much done. Lori, what are you going to do? Okay, before Lori even opens her mouth, okay, I guess she's conferring with Daybell counsel. Here's the thing with Lori, if first and foremost, do not forgo, you should not forgo recross, okay? Even if you have nothing else to say, ask that last question that you asked in order to tie up your cross examination. Ask that question one more time, and that's the last thing the jury is going to remember from. Technically, not. They'll remember all other information, but that would be the last thing the jury gets to hear from Adam Cox. So, pretty much, make it clear that he has no personal knowledge of a conspiracy between you and Alex.
No questions, Your Honor.
Girl,
Are there
I
any-
just told you what to do. I just told you what to do, Lori. Lori, I told you what to do. What do you mean, no questions? Then why were you objecting?
Questions from
Oh
any
my
member of the
God,
jury?
Lord.
Not seeing any, sir. You can step
What's
down.
up, Fever?
You can step down, please.
What's up,
State and call
Fever?
its next witness.
Thank you.
Did you have a good day? Did you have a good day? Okay, so apparently Fever does not really want to hear from Lori. That's fair. That's fair. So yeah.
Yeah.
Lori, you should have asked the same question.
If I may go get her.
Go ahead.
Who are you getting? Who's this? It's past my bedtime, you guys. I still have to iron, but I'm nosy. So.
Just to my left.
Okay, so final announcement. I'll be live on Sunday. Let me figure out the time. I'm going to need another 5 minutes to figure out the time. But I'll be live on Sunday. I will not be on this channel, though. I started a new channel. It's called I Want a Real Lawyer. I've posted the link. It's on my community tab or post or whatever it's called. And I just need 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes to figure out the time. I really told her, Fever. I don't know why she's playing. She should have kept her attorney. That's what she should have done. Who's this? Who's this young lady?
Thank you. Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name's Serena Sharp.
Who are you?
I'm going to have you pull in a little or move the mic down a little closer to you so we can hear you. Thank you.
It's you.
How old are you, Serena?
How old am I? 51.
And where are you living currently? What state, what city?
Arizona, Queen Creek.
And
Creek.
where did you live back in 2019, 2018?
Connecticut.
Okay. When did you move to Arizona?
It was right before COVID, so 2019.
Yeah, I just want to know who she is. That's it.
Do you recall? I know we don't have a lot of weather here, but summer, winter, fall.
Definitely summer. I think it was end of July, August, but we closed on our house September.
Nice.
Are you a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints?
Yes.
Were you raised in this church?
Yes,
Do you consider yourself a spiritual person?
yes.
Okay, so she must be one of the
I want to talk to you about a group preparing the people. Have you ever
All right, so I was just taking.
attended
Grouping
any
what?
of their events?
Yes, two.
Can you tell us what those are?
Wait, was Lori part?
They were conferences
All right,
that
let's
helped
try and
people
get to cross.
prepare
Hold on.
physically and spiritually for emergency preparedness. And the second,
Or had you previously heard that?
Cross?
I don't recall previously hearing that. And I don't remember hearing it after how many times she said that.
Was it discussed
Wait, did
throughout the
Lori not
weekend?
cross-examine her?
I believe so.
Let's go ahead and recess for lunch.
Okay.
We'll resume at 1:30 PM. I'll
Oh,
tell the jurors to
Right.
remember the admonition.
I don't know what you testified to, but I
Via
just want to
text,
get
very
into this.
limited.
Yes.
No other questions, Your Honor.
Cross-examination.
All right, Fever. That's good to know. Lori says gotta be Lori's best friend. Okay, so I figured out a time. So for Sunday, let's go with 4 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, Sunday we're gonna go with 4 p.m. Eastern time. So we're just gonna do a recap. Again, I do not know what's going to transpire tomorrow. I'm not going to be live tomorrow. So Sunday will be a good opportunity to catch up on that. And it's Sunday, so we can probably go longer. Okay. So yeah, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'll actually schedule that live. I might schedule that live. I was going to do it tonight, but no, when I'm done, I'm going to shut this thing down. I'll schedule it tomorrow. All right, Lori, what you got? What do you have?
Ms. Sharp, did you take an oath when you came into
She's
this
so respectful. She's calling everybody Miss, Mr., Ma'am, Sir.
courtroom today?
She's about to threaten her with perjury.
Yes, I did.
Did you raise your hand?
Yes, I did.
Did you swear to tell the truth?
All right, Lori?
Yes, I did.
The whole truth?
Nothing but.
Yes.
Nothing but the truth?
All right, Lori.
Yes.
So help you who?
God.
Oh wait, I don't know. That this might be some LSD beef over here. Cause hold on. So help you who? I don't know. Hold on. I need to take my butt to bed. But let's quickly go back because this might be
Did.
something.
The whole truth?
Hold on.
Yes.
So help you
Nothing
who?
but the truth?
Yes.
So help you who?
God.
Okay.
So can we agree
Even the judges, the judge doesn't even know what's going on.
that this court acknowledges that your testimony here today will be accountable to God?
I don't know. There's something's about to pop off. I do not know what's about to pop off, but something in my spirit tells me something's about to pop off.
Your Honor, I don't object to the relevance of this.
Sustained.
Yeah, this is some LSD stuff. Hold on.
Your Honor, they brought up the religion.
Ask for a response. It's sustained.
The judge said,
Question.
no, but that is actually that is unfair, okay? Because again, this is typically how it works. The opposing party, in this case, the prosecution, objects, okay? Whatever the objection is, typically, even before the judge makes a ruling, they'd like to hear from, the other side to see if they actually can have a reason or can have, if they have an explanation for the um, why the judge should overrule the objection, why the evidence should come in. So I'm not, this judge, nope. I don't like his ruling. So far, he's made rulings that I just do not agree with. And I mean, when we first started, or at least during the preliminary hearing stage, he appeared to be fair. But right now, I don't agree. I don't agree.
Do you believe that your testimony here will be accountable to God?
Ooh,
Yes.
Okay.
we're about to get into some stuff. Actually, let me not say proper venue because that's incorrect. I would have been interested. Now I'm just going to go down a rabbit hole. But I would have been interested in listening or following this trial occurring in a jurisdiction such as Utah. Okay. There's a reason why I'm saying that. It would have been very interesting because under these circumstances, again, I do not know if this county that they're in, I do not know what the LSD makeup is or the percentage of the jurisdiction. But personally, if I would have a person in Lori's position would have liked to have people from the faith on the jury, okay? Because again, they're getting into some stuff. I don't exactly know what they're getting into, but it could sway some folks. They just said, "What the heck?"
Ms. Sharp, how many times did we meet?
They just said, "Why? Why is she asking that?" It has something to do with religion. That's all I know. She was about to hook her something to do with the LSD faith. All right.
In person?
I
Four.
think again, I do not know much about the Mormon faith. I really do not know much about any religious faith. So, but swearing to God must have some. Again, here's the problem: we're skipping around too much. So let's do this, okay? I forgot her name. I forgot the witness's name. Let's do this on Sunday, right? On Sunday, let's get up here. Let me see, how long is her testimony? It's not that long. On Sunday, let's get into this witness's direct. Because I would like to believe that this witness must have testified to the workings of the LSD church and some implications of Lori and her beliefs and things along those lines. And I think that Lori's probably trying to justify her conduct, and it has to do with swearing to God. That's what I think. This is headed. But the cross-examination was very interesting. So that's what we're doing on Sunday. Regardless of what transpires tomorrow, we're definitely going to get into this witness on Sunday. So Sunday, let us reconvene. It's going to be 4 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm going to be live streaming on my backup channel, which is I Want a Real Lawyer. I've posted. Let me see. I don't want to lose this timestamp, but I suppose that's okay. Hold on. What did I just?
How many one-on-one
Oh my
conversations
goodness.
during those
I cannot
meetings do you
get
think
this
that we
back.
actually had? Just you and me. Nobody else
What?
around. Just you and me.
Oh, they sound like they know each other.
Maybe two.
2 conversations in our whole lives.
Maybe.
Just
Hold on. It sounds like they know each other. All right, come on. How do I go to my channel? I'm supposed to know this because it's my channel, right? I'm supposed to know this because it's my channel. But hold on. Let's go. All right. So on the community post, I've shared the link to my backup channel, and that's where I'll be going live on Sunday. Okay. It's going to be Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, folks. It's been great. I'm up here past my bedtime. I need to go iron. I still have to eat. Yeah, I have to eat, and I need to catch up. I need to catch up on some law. So I need to figure out what's been going on in the news. It's been great hanging out. Lori is she's an interesting cat. Very interesting. Definitely entertaining. Um, I don't quite know what to make, but here's the thing. Lori has definitely spent some time in the law library. That's for sure. She has spent some time in the law library. So if I have to compare Lori to the pro se litigant before Judge McBurney, you can tell that Lori Vallow Daybell has done some reading. All right. So I'm going to read that article there where, again, let me find the article. Let me just see if I can find it right now. I have too many tabs open. That's a problem because I'm trying to, there's a lot that I need to catch up on. But at least we won't be live tomorrow. Ah, there's a sale at Ulta. I have to buy. Sorry, I have so many open tabs. I have to buy some perfume before I go to bed. Unless I'm into coupons, you guys. Like that's my thing. So Ulta, they have 25% off. I really should not be buying this because it's not something I was gonna buy, but it's 25% off. So I'm gonna buy it while it's 25% off. I cannot find the article. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I have too many open tabs because I opened a whole bunch of tabs today. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Nope, it's gonna take me a while. So, because I was actually gonna try and go over the article. Let me just search for it. So I'm gonna say Lori Daybell doing better than some lawyers. That's what I remember. I don't know if that's the actual headline, but that's what I remember. Okay, so I have to find, there we go. There we go. And we have AI. So here is what they're reporting. This is called AZ Family, but part of, hold on, I'm getting distracted because I'm reading something else. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so this is what this news outlet is reporting. Okay, so apparently Lori Daybell, representing herself in her trial, is reportedly doing a fairly good job. And some legal observers, myself included, have stated that, no, I don't know about this, that she is doing better than some lawyers, okay? Maybe transactional lawyers, definitely not trial lawyers. While she doesn't have formal legal training, she claims to have extensively studied her case for 5 years. Okay, she does have, that was actually a lot of time. 5, yeah, because law school is what? Yeah, she's had some time, and she's apparently using advisory counsel to assist with legal aspects of the case. Blah blah. But that's what they're reporting in Arizona, and this is actually from 2 days ago. Thought, why did I think this was from today? But that's what they're claiming. They're claiming that Lori is doing better than some. This is not a long article. Let's go through the whole thing because I had AI. What I was reading was the AI summary. But okay. All right. So this is out of Phoenix. An attorney who's not connected to the case says Lori Vallow Daybell is faring better than some lawyers do in court as she represents herself for the 2019 murder of her former husband. When day 3 of Daybell's trial commences on Wednesday, she's expected to cross-examine one of the state's most important witnesses when it comes to hard evidence and the placement of Charles Vallow's body. Phoenix area attorney Josh Colstrud said this trial is similar to some highly publicized cases of the past. The notoriety is similar to the Jody. That's what I was thinking. Because when I was that Monday or was it Tuesday? When was Back here? I think it was Tuesday, right? Because I kept saying Jody, Jody, Jody. And I'm like, I think on the live stream, I was like California. But sometime this morning, I was like, no, I think Jody is out of Arizona. I hope you guys remember Jody. That was a case. Okay. That was a serious case. Anyways, and Daybell representing herself draws recollections of the Ted Bundy in the 70s. Who'd have thought? But it's unique partly because Daybell has nothing to lose. She's already serving life in prison for the murder of her 2 children. I'll tell you that she's actually doing a fairly good job. Apparently, this is what the Phoenix attorney is saying. She's very prepared. She's polished. To be fair, though, these statements came after day 2. Day 3 was very chaotic. Day 3, listen, did what did she say? Something about a text message and Nancy Joe telling the husband that he was a good kisser, XYZ, and do you sleep or no, not sleep. Do you date married men? I believe that was the question. So yeah. Anyways, let's move on. I can tell you that she's been practicing her questions, and honestly, I've seen other lawyers do worse than her in the courtroom. That is possible because if we have to go back to the YSL trial, to me again, I am a trial attorney. Some people claim to be trial attorneys. They have not tried more than, I don't know, even 50 cases. I am an actual trial attorney. Okay. And when we watched that YSL trial, I told you guys already that Weinstein did not know what the hell he was doing. Okay. And after the trial, he came out and confirmed it. So apparently, this attorney is saying that Daybell is doing better than some attorneys in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. We just have to be specific. Phoenix, Arizona. Because I've been in jurisdictions where, let me think. Let me go back to all my jurisdictions. Let me go back to all my jurisdictions. Actually, I may have. As far as trial, I do not know that I've seen her perform better than attorneys that I know in personal. But that's the thing, though. Most of the attorneys that I know are seasoned. These are like people in their 70s, people that are much older than me. So, anyways, let's move on. You guys know I can ramble. I need to go on. Okay. All right. So this attorney then, he said Daybell's preparation is something that's not usually seen when defendants represent themselves for murder. I've been impressed with her. That's what he said. Everything from her opening statement to a cross-examination question, she's very prepared. Colshred said Daybell is likely to do well, resonating with the jurors. The jurors are going to see an attractive woman who's very smart. She's meticulous and she may be sympathetic. And that's that librarian voice. I think it was Benji or was it Olbag that says that she sounds like a little librarian. So it might be that voice. Okay. The fact that she's representing herself is a wild card in this case. We'll see how effective it is once the jury makes their verdict. I don't know that that's a fair statement, though, because in order to claim that she's less effective because she is less effective. Okay, there's no question about that. She's less effective by representing herself, but I would not say that the jury verdict determines how effective she was, because to think or to make that statement wrongly assumes that being represented by a licensed attorney would result in an acquittal. That's just not the truth, because again, the facts do not change. But my main concern for her is that she is not properly preserving the issues for appeal. Let's move on, though. So that jury not knowing anything about Daybell's history and prior convictions is important for an impartial decision. That is very true. I've said that before. If they find out that Lori Vallow Daybell was already convicted of murder in Idaho under similarly situated circumstances, it's really going to prejudice the jury against her. I agree with that. And then, okay, so they just go on to say Arizona's family coverage. That is such a weird, not weird, but it's kind of an unusual name for a media outlet. It's called Arizona's Family. Like that's literally the name of. Anyways, let's move on. So Arizona's family coverage of day 3 of the Lori Vallow Daybell trial begins at 10:50 a.m. on Wednesday. That's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. Okay, so that's the article. I can close this tab. I can move on. I don't have to. Yeah, I'm just going to close this tab right now. I can move on to some other. That actually doesn't solve my problem because I had to search for that. But The tab's still open somewhere in my many open tabs. All right, folks, that's a lot of chit chatting. I'm calling it a night. We'll reconvene on Sunday, and I'll be on my backup channel, which is I Want a Real Lawyer. I've not done anything on there yet, so that's going to probably be the first thing that I do on there. Why are they still sending me emails like it's 10:36? Why are you still sending me emails? So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I need to go, you guys. I need to catch up on some of my emails, and I definitely need to eat and go to bed. So have a fantastic weekend, co-counsels. I will not be live tomorrow. Definitely not live on Saturday because I'm parenting. But again, Sunday, that's going to be, what's the time again? 4 p.m. Eastern time. All right. Okay. All right, folks. Fever, Benji, Brooklyn. I am out. I'm out.